I stared at the screen. My bank balance glared back at me. 0. The $150,000 I'd built over 7 years was gone, erased overnight, like it had never existed. The transfer record showed the exact time, 3:12 a.m., Christmas morning. I didn't have to guess who did it. I knew. And when I turned my head toward the living room, there he was, my older brother Daniel, slouched on my sofa, sipping coffee like it was any other day. He smirked, eyes glinting with something poisonous. "Prove it, Miss CEO." That was his Christmas greeting. We weren't always enemies. I remember the first time Daniel fixed my bike when I was 9. He was patient back then, steady, the kind of older brother who'd take the fall when I broke Dad's watch. He taught me chess, saying, "If you control the board, you control the game." I believed him. I also believed he had my back when I launched my startup. I let him into my world, gave him admin access to my files when I traveled, trusted him with passwords just in case. He was the only person I thought wouldn't hurt me. Now I understood. He hadn't been learning to play the game with me. He'd been studying the board to take it for himself. It started small. A missing invoice here, a forgotten login change there. My laptop behaving strangely after he borrowed it for an email. I brushed it off. He was my brother. Family doesn't steal from family, right? But then I found the hidden folder. It sat in my cloud storage under an innocuous name, Recipes. Inside were copies of my contracts, client lists, and my bank credentials. Files with timestamps from nights I knew I was asleep. The day before Christmas Eve, I confronted him lightly, a joke almost. "Hey, been poking around my laptop lately?" His laugh was casual, too casual. "What, you think I'm hacking you? Relax." It wasn't until Christmas morning, when I saw the empty account, that his laugh replayed in my head like a confession. My first instinct was rage. But rage burns fast. I didn't scream, I didn't cry. I shut my laptop, poured myself a coffee, and wished him Merry Christmas. Because a man like Daniel expected fireworks. He expected me to threaten, to beg, to call the bank immediately and get nowhere. That's what amateurs do when they're blindsided. I wasn't going to give him that satisfaction. I was going to make him choke on the very game he thought he'd mastered. Step 1, evidence. That same day, I logged into my secondary laptop, the one he didn't know existed, and restored a security backup I'd made months ago. I'd always been paranoid about cyber theft. Now, that paranoia was my weapon. The backup contained keylogger records, access logs, and IP traces, all pointing directly to his apartment. I packaged the data neatly, like wrapping a gift. Step 2, timing. If I went to the police immediately, he'd still have my money hidden, and he'd fight me for years in court. No, I needed him to believe he was untouchable long enough for me to corner him. So I waited, and oh, he spent. 3 weeks later, he posted photos from Dubai, Rolex flashing, champagne spilling over marble tables. His captions were cocky, "Work hard, play harder." Perfect. Every purchase was another nail in his coffin. Step 3, the trap. I called him in mid-January. "I'm hosting a little investor dinner. Need your help setting up. Come by early." He hesitated, suspicious maybe, but greed outweighs caution. He showed up in a tailored suit, wearing a watch I knew he couldn't afford 2 months ago. When he walked into my apartment, my attorney was already there. 2 detectives stood by the kitchen island, plain clothes but unmistakable. I didn't greet him. I didn't smile. I just slid a manila folder across the counter. Inside were printed logs, screenshots, IP traces, every move he'd made from the first unauthorized login to the final transfer. He looked at them, then at me, jaw tightening. "This is crap, circumstantial." That's when my attorney spoke. Not when paired with your bank's records, Mr. Hale, and the photos you've posted online, time-stamped during the period in question. His smirk flickered. For the first time, he looked unsure. But I wasn't finished. I'd filed the complaint 2 days earlier, and the detectives had already secured a court order freezing his accounts. By the time he'd landed in Dubai, I'd already contacted the hotel. His penthouse reservation had been prepaid by a card now flagged for investigation, which meant when he left my apartment that night, he'd have nowhere to run back to. "You think this will hold up?" he spat. I stepped closer, low enough that only he could hear. "You once told me, if you control the board, you control the game. Daniel, the board was never yours." The doorbell rang. He glanced toward it, irritated. When I opened the door, 2 uniformed officers stepped inside.